And I bet you guys think you know where this story is going. Oh, you have no idea. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if this is the first time you're seeing this face. You clicked on it, and now you're watching it, and that means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. My name is Jacy, and I like to do story times, chit chats, and rants on this channel, and today I have the most crazy breakup story I have ever heard. Now, for the first time ever, this story is not actually mine. I would love to start telling other people's stories just because I have so many friends and individuals in my life who have these insane stories, and I ask them, hey, can I tell your story someday on my channel? Because I would love for my channel to not just be my dating story times or some of the tame and mundane things that have happened, but incorporate some other people's stories and some insane things that you guys wouldn't believe. And this is one of those story times. I talked to my friend, she gave me permission to talk about this story in my video, and I'm very grateful for that because it is a pretty crazy breakup story time. So if you like videos like this, of me just chit-chatting, telling stories like we're two best friends catching up over some martinis at happy hour, then make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'd love for you to join me in the future for more future story times, as well as just to come and hang out with us. You know, I love talking to you guys in the comments, and I appreciate all of the support that I can get. So thank you so much for doing that. And if you'd like to follow my life outside of these YouTube videos, make sure to follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you want to just see my thoughts and my activities outside of this. But with that being said, because this lighting is going to be annoying this video, let's get started. All right, so the characters in this story we will name Cassie and Travis. She did ask me to not use her real name for reasons that may become clear as the story continues. But a little bit of background is that I was friends with Cassie, and she was a little bit older than I was, and she had been with Travis for about 5 years. Now, considering she was a little bit older, she was at the point in their relationship where she was like, hey buddy boy, where's a ring on my finger? You know, we're kind of getting a little older, time's a ticking, let's get this going. But also in Travis's defense, the reason he hadn't yet proposed was they were in a somewhat long distance relationship and they weren't even living together. So they were about a state away, kind of traveling back and forth to see each other. And he was very much on the side of, let's move in together, see if we're compatible living together before we take the leap and get the government involved in our relationship. Now, Cassie was a little bit more traditional, where she was like, I'm not moving in unless you are my fiancé. So, you know, both points are very valid. It depends on where you fall into the spectrum. I'm very much on the side of things that you should live together before you get married. Because, like, what if your quirks just drive you so crazy that you couldn't imagine spending the rest of your life with them? Like, what if they never put their dishes away, or they always leave beard hair in the sink, you know? I don't want to live with that for the rest of my life. But I digress. The point is that they were kind of on different ideas of what their next step should be, where she was like, we should get engaged, and he was like, maybe we should move in together. Now, after a couple weeks of discussion, they did in fact decide that it would be the next best step for one of them to move in with the other, and they cohabitate for a little bit before actually getting engaged. But that came the next issue of, well, are you gonna move here or am I gonna move there? Because one of us is either gonna have to quit our jobs or try to negotiate working remotely, or just packing up and moving across state lines, which is no easy feat. But Cassie decided, well, if this is what you want, I am willing to quit my job and find a new one. This was also for a lot of reasons. I guess it was just easier for her to find a new job in a new state, whereas he was trying to work his way up in his company. He was working long hours, and he didn't want to give that up when he was so close to, I guess, like some type of promotion. So they compromised, and she was willing to quit her job, pack up her beautiful bachelorette pad, load up a U-Haul, and travel across state lines to move in with him. Now, of course, they were doing the whole long distance thing, so it's not like she had never been there before, but you know, moving to a new city with no built-in friends of your own is kind of a very daunting thing and a scary kind of new experience, but she was excited for this next step in her relationship with her boyfriend. So usually when you move in with your partner for the first time, it's a big sense of euphoria because it's the next big step in your relationship, and it's kind of like now you get to have sleepovers with your best friend every night. You get to travel a little bit more together, you get to explore your city together, but you also just get to have those nights in at home and cohabitate together and really become that partnership that you didn't really have doing a long distance relationship. So she was so stoked for this, but immediately noticed that You know, Travis actually did work a lot. He was working towards his promotion and he wasn't at home as much as she wanted. This kind of left her feeling pretty lonely because, again, she didn't have that many friends and she couldn't really like go crazy decorating the apartment because it was like she moved in with him and not necessarily that they got their own place together. So she did feel a little lonely, but she was also understanding that he was really busy with work and there were just a lot of big life changes for the both of them that she just had to be patient. But that's one thing my friend Cassie didn't have was patience, because not 3 months after they moved in together, she brings up talks of getting engaged again because she's like, I can't be living in sin like a heathen with my not husband. When are you putting a ring on my finger? And for him, which in his defense, he's like, it's only been 3 months. We haven't really gotten to test the waters here, but you know, you did move across state for me. You did kind of give up your whole life to move in with me. All right, it's now my turn to compromise. So a few months later, they went on a beautiful Hawaiian vacation where he popped the question on a beautiful white sand beach, gave her a beautiful sparkly diamond rock, and they were officially betrothed to be man and wife. I hate that saying, man and wife. It's so weird. Just like they're gonna get married, that's all. So they're engaged and Cassie couldn't be happier. She was so excited to be his wife, to really dive into the wedding planning process, which was something she was so excited for. Immediately starts looking at venues, caterers, DJs versus band, that whole thing. But she notices that Travis is very despondent when it comes to wedding planning. She would say, hey, like any idea for colors? Do you like blue and silver or do you like green and gold? And he would just kind of be like, yeah, babe, like whatever you want. Hey, how do you feel about flowers? Petunias or tulips? I don't really know anything about flowers, babe. You go ahead. And even when it came to like some of the big decisions for their wedding, he just was very distant when it came to a lot of the decisions, especially things of like, hey, our families are in 2 different states. Where the heck do we want to have this wedding? My original state or yours or somewhere in the middle? And he would just kind of be like, well, you know, you choose. My family can travel, your family can travel. Let's see whatever venues are pretty. So she was starting to get a little bit frustrated because it's like, dude, like, this is a big deal. It's not just planning a party, it's planning the rest of our freaking lives. Can you at least have some type of opinion? So she was starting to get a little bit frustrated. Now I was friends with her, but not like BFFs for life. So she's not like fully divulging this stuff. It'd kind of just be like when I'd ask her about wedding planning, I would say like, hey, how's wedding planning going? She'd be like, oh, it's good. Like, it's fine. Not like the super excited or really energetic and eagerness that you see from other brides where just like, oh my gosh, it's so stressful, but so worth it. Like it was almost as if she didn't have any strong feelings towards her wedding. And that's when I, as like kind of an outside external viewer of their relationship, started to notice some issues because he was being so despondent with the wedding planning, it kind of made her less excited, which made me sad. So Cassie confided in me one day that she and Travis had not actually been intimate in a while, not since their engagement in beautiful Hawaii. And she was getting kind of concerned. She was like, I don't know, maybe he's having second thoughts about the marriage. Maybe we should call off the engagement and just kind of like be together for a little bit. Or maybe we just need to like reinvigorate that spark because there was so much stress in their relationship with the big move, with his work all the time, that she just felt like she needed to do something to bring back the spark in their relationship. So she did the whole romantic night in with rose petals and probably wasn't rose petals. That's a little cliche. But she probably poured them a glass of wine and put on a little record player of Al Green and played like let's stay together. You know, something with like a subliminal message. And then they made love into the moonlight and reconnected as the partnership they were going to be, bound for life. And I would talk to her, I'd be like, hey, how'd things go? She'd be like, so great, like we got the spark back. I feel more connected to him than ever, and I'm truly excited to start planning this wedding again. And I was like, that's awesome, because so much of the past few weeks of talking with her wasn't even about wedding planning. It was just about how much time Travis was spending at work and how much he was never home and how lonely she felt in this new city. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, long hours at work, Travis a dog and he be cheating. Just wait. There's more. So a couple days after their beautiful romantic night in with the wine glass and Al Green, Cassie starts to not feel well. She has pain when urinating and is starting to feel a little itchy down there. Yes. Now, she was prone to urinary tract infections or yeast infections and just thought, oh, this is just another one of those. I'll make an appointment with my doctor, get some antibiotics, and just get rid of this thing. But after a couple of days in preparation for her doctor's appointment, she started developing some sores down there. And that's when she's like, uh-oh, this isn't good. She cancels her appointment and instead goes to the emergency room to get it checked out. After some testing, the doctor does in fact let her know that the sores, the itchiness, and the pain from urination are in fact from having genital herpes. Yes. Now you can tell why she didn't want me to use her real name. So she's at the doctor, and poor girl, immediately her brain goes, how did I get this? Did I sit on like a bad toilet seat? Or like, was I in a dirty restroom? How could I have possibly gotten genital herpes? And the doctor says, actually, no, this type of herpes cannot be spread through a toilet seat. It can only be spread through direct sexual contact with somebody who also has genital herpes sores. And she's like, well, I've only ever slept with my fiance, so I don't understand how I could have gotten this. And the doctor's just like, maybe you should talk to your fiancé. So poor Cassie, at first she was just so in denial, like, no, Travis? No, he just proposed to me. No, he's working all the time. He's working all the time. Oh my God. And that coworker of him is stunning. Oh my God, is Travis cheating on me with his coworker? Son of a bitch! So Cassie goes home with a nice little bottle of ointment and antibiotics and an angry, angry temper. And she barges into their apartment and goes, Travis, who the hell you been sleeping around with? She probably didn't say it like that, but something very dramatic. She explains that she has, in fact, genital herpes, and it could only have been transferred by somebody else with genital herpes, and she has slept with nobody but her own very fiancé, so he must have given it to her. She goes off on him, accusing him of cheating, which is kind of like pretty fair considering that this is the only way it could have been transferred. But Travis gets so defensive. He starts explaining, how do I know you're not cheating? I haven't slept with anybody. I am trying to be the breadwinner of this family. I am trying to get us money for this dream wedding that you are extravagantly planning. How dare you accuse me when all I'm trying to do is work hard and get this promotion? He gets so offended that then Cassie kind of has to like go back on her heels and be like, I'm not cheating on you. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, it is a new city and you are home alone a lot. How do I know that when I'm not coming home that you're out and about drinking, hooking up with guys, being on dating apps, and just completely turns it on her to the point that she has to start getting defensive and be like, whoa, buddy. I have no idea what you're talking about. How dare you accuse me? The point is that it got very hostile very fast, and it was a stalemate because neither of them were owning up to it, but both of them were very suspicious of the other person. So if you've ever been in a relationship where you kind of start having suspicions that your partner is cheating, every little action and every little sentence and phrase you start taking note of and becoming a lot more aware of the possibilities of them cheating on you even further. So this absolutely was the case with Cassie, where even though Travis kind of started to turn it on her and accuse her of cheating, she started noticing things more, suspecting that he was the real cheater here. They'd be at dinner and his phone would ring and he'd immediately put it down face down and not answer it. When they'd be sitting on the couch and he'd be on his laptop, he'd position himself so that she could never see the screen and he'd be tapping away. He would call her several nights a week and say, hey, I have to stay late in the office, like don't wait up, don't make dinner, I'll be home when I can. And she just became a lot more hyper aware of these suspicious activities. Meanwhile, she was trying to convey that she was not at all suspicious. She was not at all guilty. She was just at home cooking dinner, planning their wedding. Every time her phone would ring, she'd be like, oh, it's just my mom. Hi, mom. How are you? You know, kind of trying to demonstrate that she's not the one cheating. Now, during this time when I would talk to her, she would kind of vent to me and be like, I think he's cheating. Like, I don't know what's going on, but he has to be cheating. All the late nights at work. Like, it's kind of the only logical explanation of how she freaking got genital herpes. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, break up with him. Like, he's a cheater, get rid of him. But she was in love with this man, you guys. They'd been together for 6 years at this point. You know, she was very excited for their wedding, but also kind of had put a hold on the wedding planning, rightfully so, to figure out what the heck was going on. So she knew she couldn't very well plan a ceremony to vow her life to this man when she wasn't even sure that he was being honest and that she could trust him. So she knew she had to do a little bit of FBI work, some investigating. So the first thing that she does, which is what most people do, is waits for him to fall asleep and breaks into his phone. Now, this was many years ago, so it was before like Face ID or thumbprint ID. She knew his password, so she was able to get in pretty easily. So she goes through his apps and starts like searching for Bumble or Tinder kind of thing. She goes through his text messages, doesn't find anything sketchy, tries to find something in his call logs, in his bank account, something that could hint to her of what could be going on, who he could be communicating with if he was having this illustrious affair with a coworker. But she found nothing, and instead of that quelling her suspicions, it kind of just raised them in the sense of, oh, this guy's good. Like, he knows how to hide his tracks. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, bitch. That's what she was thinking. And during this time, their relationship is just at an all-time low. You could tell that they are just so suspicious of each other that Travis tries to redirect the blame to her whenever he could and be like, I'm gonna be home late. Like, can I trust you to stay home here and be alone, sort of thing. And it just got really hostile really fast, where you can tell she was starting to think like, even if nothing is going on, this is just going downhill real fast, that I don't know if I should be planning a wedding right now. So one day, Travis goes to sleep. She doesn't look through his phone. She's like, maybe there's something on his laptop. She opens up his laptop, can't really find anything, but decides to go through his emails. She didn't think to look through his emails when looking on his phone. She's going through his emails and she sees emails from a man named Richard. And her immediate thought is, oh my God, he's gay. Oh, I wish that was the twist, you guys, because that would be a pretty good twist. That is not the twist, though. No, no, no. Richard was not a lover of Travis's. No, Richard was a businessman. And his business was that he was a pimp. Travis was sleeping with prostitutes. Yes, Travis was in constant communication with a man named Richard to set up weekly appointments with a new prostitute almost every single night. Can we just take a moment and let that sink in? First of all, you're like 25 years old. You have a loving fiance. Why do you need prostitutes? I didn't know people still sleep with prostitutes. I didn't know that's how it worked. I didn't know they went digital for pimps and that's how you were able to set up appointments. There's a lot of underground world stuff there that I don't know about. But Travis was sleeping with multiple prostitutes a night. He was not staying late at work. He was going to hotels and hooking up with these sex workers. Now, no shame to them, you know, sex work is work. But Travis, that's real shitty of you. I think we can all agree on that. So here's Cassie, petrified, white as a ghost, not even sure if she's angry, disappointed, disgusted, or just in complete awe of what she discovered. She takes a deep breath, calmly closes the laptop, and just starts quietly packing up her things. So I guess she waited for the morning to have her big confrontation, and according to her, it was all very calm. She got all the evidence that she needed, that it wasn't so much of a shouting match and a screaming match. She was just kind of just over it. So he woke up and she says, I found your dirty little secret, pushes him the laptop and says, I will be moving back home. And that's when he goes into apology mode and says, please, baby, please don't leave me. It's not my fault. I have a sex addiction. We'll go to couples therapy. I'll go to sex addiction workshops. I will get a therapist. I will do what it takes to get through this. You are the love of my life. I want to marry you. Please don't go. Please don't go. And I was like, my dude, first of all, you gaslit the hell out of her, trying to convince her that she was the one cheating when you were sleeping with not only one woman, but multiple women who were sleeping with other people, to the point that they gave you a sexually transmitted disease, which you then gave to your fiance, who moved across state lines and quit her job to be in a new city with you, surrounded by nobody that she knows. You're a dick. And she was just like, nah, dog, nah, I'm good. I don't need this. I don't want any part of this. I'm good. So it took Cassie a few days to kind of pack up her stuff, to rent a U-Haul and move back across state lines. You know, she was only working at this new job for a very short period of time. So it was pretty easy for her to quit. It wasn't so much that she liked the new place she was in. She would have rather just moved back home to her own little tribe and her own little community and talk shit about Travis, which is what she did. She let everybody know what had happened, that he was cheating on her with prostitutes, that he gave her a sexually transmitted disease, and that he was claiming that it was a sex addiction, that he still wanted to marry her. And she was like, no, thank you. And we stand Cassie because she was able to move back to her home state and really redevelop a lot of her own self-confidence, because a lot of us did think that she would get back together with him because she did love him so much. She really did think he was the absolute one. And she would tell us like, man, if not for him cheating with prostitutes, everything was perfect. And it's like, yeah, was it though? Was it though? So we're so happy that she was able to leave him, because then she was able to hop on some new dating apps to kind of like learn who she was outside of that relationship. And now she is married with her first child on the way. So we are so happy for her. And Travis, as a little like epilogue, is doing terribly. You know, I think he actually got married and is divorced, if I recall. So clearly he has a lot of relationship issues. I don't know what the situation with him is, but the fact that he was able to try to emotionally and mentally manipulate his fiance, I couldn't imagine what he did to his next wife to the point that they had to get a divorce. So pretty insane. So that was just a super quick story time of one of the most insane breakups I've ever heard of. But I thank you guys so very much for checking out this video. Make sure to let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video or if you have your own crazy breakup story time. I still might someday do a story time about my own breakup. I just haven't really thought about it yet. But let me know if you can top Cassie and Travis's epic breakup. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles! I don't think your office chair is supposed to sound like a bunch of dying pigs. I need some WD-40.